Right now, we're going to discuss dieting for entrepreneurs and business owners and for high productivity people, and why that is so important to have a proper diet, a proper framework to follow when you are eating every single day so that your productivity stays at the highest level, right? So why do we want a food framework, right? This might not be a diet specifically, but we want something that we can follow so that our levels of work capability and capacity stay at the highest throughout the work day. And so that, for example, we don't have these high spikes in sugar where we lose momentum during our work day because we start to get groggy and we start to fall asleep. So a couple of things I want to focus on. The first is, why do we want to do this? Again, this is for productivity's sake. This is to increase your capacity as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's wanting to transform their life for the better in terms of the time and time optimization that they want. Now, the second part is going to be about the food framework. So we're going to discuss that right now. So just a couple of notes here, right? So the first thing that you might consider is a high-fat diet. Peter Attia is a doctor who goes really in depth about this. But basically the gist here that a business owner can take away, that our entrepreneur can really understand and should understand, is that we do not want high spikes in sugar, which is what usually happens during a meal. What happens is that usually we get to work, we might have a snack, that's going to be a spike in sugar. We then get lunch, which is going to be another spike in sugar, especially high sugary foods. High calorie foods, highly dense calorie foods are going to spike the sugar. And then, right before we get off work, we might have another snack as well. Again, that's going to be another spike in sugar. Now, this again depends on you. You need to look at your body. You need to understand what you as a human, as a body, as a combination of chemicals can digest and how your food affects you. But this is something that you should test out. Having a high-fat diet. High fat itself is a very stable energy source. And one of the things that Mr. Attia mentions is that marathon runners and ultra high endurance sports are now transitioning from carb loading, which is kind of like stuffing a bunch of sugar down your body, into fat loading, which is stuffing a lot more fatty foods into your body, which gives your body a much more stable source of energy and a much more productive, so to speak, source of energy, where you're not having these spikes and crashes, where you're not having these peaks and valleys. And during the peak you might be going all in, but during the valley, man, you're in the middle of the day and you want to sleep. Like, you're not concentrating on your business. You're not doing the productive things that you need to do as a business owner and as an entrepreneur. All right, so look up Peter Attia, try a high-fat diet. We're looking at foods like avocado, maybe some kind of a sausage, something that has like a lot of fat in it and not necessarily a lot of sugar, right? So we want to keep the fat high, sugar low. So let's get into point number 2. And point number 2 is actually meal size and meal times. So with meal size, we want to focus on the amount and the greatness of our meal, right? So what I would recommend is trying something like this. Not eating anything in the morning, perhaps a light snack, maybe like a piece of fruit, to blunt our hunger towards noontime. So from noon, let's say from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., we have a nice big lunch. And that means meat, that means vegetables, that means carbs, right? Not sugary carbs, but carbs like rice, something that will take some time to digest, okay? We want to have a big meal. We want to load all of that energy up. And then we want to, then the second meal we want to have is throughout later in the day, maybe closer to evening time, have just a smaller version of the meal that we had earlier, right? Again, something like meats, something like high fatty foods and less sugar, but carbs are okay, right? And this might optimize your body because, again, in the morning time, which should be your most productive time to do your most productive activities, your body is running on fat. And it could actually be burning fat from your body, which is a side benefit of losing weight. So, but the point is that we want our time in the morning to be our most productive time. And during our morning hours of the day, when we still have not eaten anything, maybe we just had some bland tea or some bland coffee without anything, our sugar levels are not spiked. So our body's running on fat, which means we are going to be the most productive during that period of time before lunch. All right. So that's the benefit of having a bigger meal during lunch and then a smaller meal towards the evening, instead of having a traditional breakfast, lunch, and dinner setup where for most people, and snacking throughout the day, which for most people is just a bad curve of ups and downs in terms of sugar levels. All right, so that was just a quick video. If you guys enjoyed this, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, if any of these tips have helped you out, or if they think they will help you out. Go ahead and subscribe down below as well. Click that notification bell so you get notified when I make these awesome free videos for you to watch. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.